Okay, so welcome to part 2 of my process planning for, like I said, I'm not going to call this a pendant because I'm not going to wear it around my neck. I am going to hang it on the wall. Therefore, it can be large. It doesn't have to keep a shape that most people would think of, for a pendant. Let me get one real quick. There we go. So this is a normal pendant, and a normal size. That's not going to weigh a ton around someone's neck. This kind of has the shape of one. It's the same stone, actually. Well, same batch. But since this is going to be on a wall, it can be freeform. It can be wonky. It doesn't have to be a nice little shape, that, pendants usually are. And I'm going to call it a freeform, where it can go off to one side. It can go off to both sides. You can do whatever you want, and you don't have to stick to, this kind of shape like this is. And that's how things basically start for me. I'll go ahead and just put these first two, and then I'll just start to think, well, what do I really want to use this for? Do I want just something in these colors? Do I want something to showcase, all the beads? And for me, I want to showcase beads because that's why I buy them, and that's what I want to look at. So it's not just for a nice little fancy cohesive shape that these few colors will match someone's outfit, like this. You just have a couple of colors that can match several different outfits, that somebody has. This is going to be, for me, something to display. And so I want to incorporate different shapes and beads and colors. I don't want to just stick with this. And like I said, having this green background does throw me off some, because I feel like I want to match everything to the green. So I'm trying to get over that and look past it. While I was showing this to my neighbor, I was playing around with these beads. I only have, how many is this? 4? Yeah, I only have 4. And these came from like the bargain bead box. Nope, a dollar bead box. Dollar bead box. So they only gave me, a few in, a packet. So I thought, well, I have room here. And I have these. No, do I want to put them? No, I can put a flower there. So I have these huge ones. And this is just something, I just played with. It took me 2 seconds while she was searching for something. I'm like, boom. So I know I wanted to use more orange because I wanted more color. I can't fit these here and bezel around them. I would have to rely on the glue, which would be fine as a wall hanging because it's not going to get worn and roughed up. So the glue would probably hold them in place. But then I thought, well, since I have, enough of these, what if I go ahead and put them, well, I can do it more neatly. I'm trying to rush for the video. Let's see how many more I got. There. So that brings the design out more, gives it more color. Shiny. I can space them apart so that I can throw some beads around and do a bezel instead of just relying on the glue. These beads, I don't need a bezel. They have a hole in them, and it's just like these. I don't need to bezel around them. It's just like these. I didn't need a bezel around them. So I have the option, will that be cute? Cuter if I put them on point between see, just coming up with new things as I see it, especially since these are on point. But I want to space these enough so that I can do, I'm going to need one bead, well, two beads length between these. And it might bring them out more, just to make sure I have enough room to do it. Even have to push these back over more. So I think that's what I'm going to do, just to bring in some more orange, some more color. And like I said, I wouldn't do this if I was just going to wear it, I would have just left this. And then I still have these white. I was like debating whether or not to use the orange or the white here. And since I'm using the orange up there, I thought, well, maybe I can go ahead and put the white down here. It's giving it a different color. Not just sticking with, greens, blacks, and orange. And it just changed things up. I can also add in some purple later on if I want to. I can bring in, because I've got purple here. You can barely see it, but it is in the stones here. So that's also a thought. I know I have these. They're on a string. They've got a little hole. They're like drop beads, I would think. And they're round. And I can always, after I'm done, use that as part of the edging. Maybe, maybe not. But I did, bring them out and have them sitting here so that they're in eyesight so that I can think about using them. So this is probably what I'm going to work on next. I'm going to go ahead and secure these down. And with the green in the background, maybe I don't have to worry so much about, all this background space. Or I could still fill it with some beads. I have that option. So there's just always ideas. Like I said, look on Pinterest, get different ideas of how they've done beads, and then just let your imagination flow. Whatever comes up. Like this was just spot moment to go ahead and throw these up here, because I was like, I wasn't complete up here. I just finished this part. So I think that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to go ahead and attach these. I'm not going to bezel them because they've got holes in them. And not everything needs to be bezeled. These I want to bezel. It'll give it a little more security and keeping it down. Plus add some more beads to it. I do have these, and I do have a small, 15-0s that I can use. Orange ones versus, just using the black. I don't think I want to put green on top as the cinching, because that might really look like Halloween. And that's what I'm trying to stay away from. So that is the next process. The next step, I'll decide if there's a preference on which side the bead looks cuter. These are so cute. They remind me of medicine, little pills you have to take. So that should be quick and easy, sewing them down and then sewing these down. This is going to take a minute, to do the peyote stitch around them. I'm going to glue them, keeping in mind that I need 2 beads between the points so I have enough space. And then let that glue, sit for at least 30 minutes so that they don't start popping up. What I normally do is just do one at a time. That way, as I'm bending and switching around, these aren't getting all bent and getting loose. They start popping up. So I will normally just glue one at a time, and then I also will have, a better idea of how much space I need once I do get that bead sewn in. And in between, I'll just get these sewn on and watch some TV while those dry, right? So this is going to be a part 2 video. I will attach the next session to this since this one is not as long. I think the first video was 27 minutes. And that kind of just gave a start off onto this and discussing the process. If you have any questions, if you want any more guidance on anything, how do I decide on which beads and colors and the thought process, or a link to, some of the videos, like I said, Jill Wiseman, Wiseman, has all the great tutorials step-by-step on how to do peyotes and a bunch of other stitches. So just let me know what you need, and I'll be more than happy to try to help. And I'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye. Hey again. Okay, so this is where I'm at. I went ahead and sewed these beads on. I went ahead and bezeled on these beads, and I didn't space them properly. As you can see, I can't fit another one in there, but that is fine because I have other beads that I can throw in there. I've got some flowers, just stick a green flower there and stick some leaves out. I've got different types of flowers that I can use, that I can fill in. Come here, you. Fill in that spot and, add more smaller beads around it. Like I said, I do have leaves that I can sew in, and these might be too big. I've even got different kinds of beads I can add around it. I love these two. They probably won't fit in. Like, what? No, probably not there. I've kind of set up a little bit of what I was thinking might be next. I've got these two beads. Well, I've got two here and two here. So I was thinking, well, let's go ahead and try to see if I can use them. Otherwise, they'll just sit in a container. Then I thought, well, let me go ahead, and I haven't really done that with an outline, with the bead. And first I threw down some purple beads. For some reason, I want to add purple to it. Maybe because I've got purple here. Well, then I thought, well, what about gold? Will gold be better with the blue or this color? I'm kind of, I'm looking at it. Okay, that looks fine. That doesn't look so good, so I don't know if it's because of the gold going around it. If it was just the purple, maybe it'd be okay. So that's what I'm going to just let it sit for a little while and see. I went ahead and found some of these purplish beads, and I can add them around here somewhere. I've got more. I only pulled out the 4. So, just having the purple close to the purple. And I even found these big old things. I was just playing marbles with them. And I'm not very good at marbles. That would just look weird. And it is a huge bead. And it's probably not going to fit anywhere. Yeah, it's just way too big for anything. I do have these that I thought were cute. And I've made earrings out of them. I don't think they'll fit anywhere just yet. I just kind of move it around. No. I can still go down some. I don't know how stupid that'll look. So that's why I do one thing at a time. I did sew these in, and these I haven't sewn in yet, but I want those there because I knew I wanted to use those from the beginning. Because I love bronze and gold and copper. I just love that. Just kind of a vintage, antique feeling for me. I can still throw in some of these in between. I decided not to do the top of the bezel with black. Again, because I was trying to get away from a Halloween look. So I can add those there. And I can throw a little black bead in the middle there. Where am I? Oh, those are too little. Probably an 11-0 instead of these little 15-0 round ones. I like that the blue brings more color in. So I'm hoping that I can use that. But it's iffy. And I might not do, what do you call those swirls? Kind of an outline thing. That was just an idea. So that's what my next process is going to be, seeing how I can incorporate one or the other in and how I can encase it. I can always just stop and just go the gold all the way around it and fill in without, doing any swirls. I just noticed that I haven't done that yet, but it doesn't have to be done on this one. And I have to keep telling myself I don't have it to be symmetrical, I can do one thing on one side and one thing on the other. I just haven't been bold enough to do that yet. Because my eyes keep telling me, keep it nice. Keep the eye flowing. Don't start breaking things off this way or that way. So we will see what we come up with next. Cross your fingers. See you in a little bit. Okay, I am back. This looks a little crazy right now. I got a flower in there. I've got some leaves. I got some flowers there. I wanted to use purple. I had this whole bag of purple. I wanted to incorporate purple somehow. And so I had those purple beads. I went ahead and topped them with, a little seed bead. Well, it's a 2mm bead. I guess it doesn't matter. I threw in some green and yellow. That's not yellow, that's green and purple. And then I had these little, they're kind of like an aqua. They weren't too bright. I tried something brighter and it didn't work. So I figured let's keep it, I don't know if they call that warm. Just the darker colors here. And I topped it with a little gold 15 that I used here. So that kind of ties it in. I did go ahead and go with these because these just didn't work. That kind of worked better for me. And I did get a little swirling in. And then I kind of stopped. I want to see what I feel like doing now. I think I'm almost done. I'm almost out of beads to use. When I laid this down, I thought, well, maybe I can bring some orange down here by, that was kind of a point. That can bring the orange down and tie these two pieces together. So I might do that. I might go ahead and glue them and then do a bezel around them. Then after that, I think I'm going to do a strand of beads. Let me see, I don't have any, maybe some 8/0s just to encase everything. I don't know if I use the black. I've got some gold. I've got some other colors that I can use. And I think I'll use that to just, encase. And then fill in any spots that I think needs it. I don't think I'm going to fill in these spots. I'm kind of happy, that this green felt went ahead and is there, so I don't need to fill those spots in on this particular one. Hey, it's not sitting up straight. We're going to force you to behave. That's what you got to do. Teach them who's boss. So after I get, go around, then I'll see how much space I have to fill in with smaller beads. Obviously I'll have to put something here because as the beads come around, you're going to have space here. I'll probably have spaces here. And then I can make the decision, do I want to fill it with beads or do I want to leave it since it is green and it's colored already? And then I'll be attaching the back. And then deciding what beads I want to use for the edging and how I want to do that. Whether I want to incorporate, I found these also. I was going to stick them between something, but they kind of look weird if I just stuck them, and they just standing straight up. So maybe 3 at a time might create something. If I can do that with thread, maybe stick them, and that'll give, something else to look at. I still have these. Yeah, they're like the same kind of thing. Is that like a gunmetal? That may or may not get incorporated. It just depends on how I want to do the edging, how fancy or unfancy. I have these. These are so cute. And these definitely go with, it's like the coral and the turquoise. But I don't think I can get it in there where I would see it. Because if I string it, it's just going to stand straight up. So unless, I find some way of incorporating it and then put a bead something that I might not be able to use these. So that's what I'm going to work on next. Doing this, going around it, and then I will see you back for the next step.